Hello, friends. I'm so happy that you are here. Today, we're going to be talking about gardening. I know that when you go to the grocery store, you see fruits and you see vegetables, and those fruits and vegetables come from the ground first. So, let's talk about the fruit of the day is the lemon. The lemon. Lemons are sour and a little bit tangy, and sometimes they can even be sweet, right? If you get the Meyer lemons, they can be very sweet. So we have the yellow lemon, right? And inside the lemon, you have the seeds. And if you get really close, not so close, you can see triangles inside of the lemon. So that's the outside of the lemon and the inside of the lemon. And here are how many seeds. I cut this lemon open earlier and I took out the seeds. Let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seeds from the lemon. How many seeds from the lemon? 5 seeds from the lemon. So wonderful. And if you want to, you can set the seeds aside when you're eating your fruit and you can plant them later. What do we need to make those lemon seeds grow? Let's see. If you're thinking about gardening, you can put your seeds in a pot or you can put them in the ground. If you put them in the ground, you might need something like this, like a shovel, to dig very deep into the ground, right? So we're going to pretend that we're digging in the ground to plant our seeds. We're going to dig 5 deep holes. Count with me, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then once you have your nice deep hole in the ground, you want to put your seeds into the ground, right? We're going to put our seeds into the ground. And what happens next? What do we need? We need to cover it up. So we have to take all of those scoops of dirt that we scooped and put it back on top of the seed. Let's count to 5. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now what happens next? We need water, right? We need water and sunlight. We need some rain to come from the sky, and we need the sun to shine very brightly in order to grow. Once it's rain and the sun is out, then the roots start to gather into the dirt and up pops a seedling, right? And then the flower comes out. You have the dirt, the roots that gathers all of the water from the ground and brings it up and feeds the flower.
Wait, let me see.
You want to see?
Wow.
A flower. Let's count the leaves on the flowers. You want to count? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 little petals, right? 4 petals. And sometimes flowers come with leaves, but today our flower does not. There's the dirt, the roots that gathers the water, the stem nice and strong to drink up the water, and the petals of the flower.
Mommy, can I bring it?
Yes.
Thanks.
And the bumblebees, they love to get the nectar from the center of the flower to create honey. And we know that we also can buy honey from the store. All right, we have different things that grow in the garden. Do you want to help me?
No. I let me bring it out.
Okay, so we have the lemon that grows in the garden. We have the tomato that grows in the garden. And tomatoes are normally known as a vegetable, but because it has seeds, it is also known to be a fruit. So anything that has seeds is a fruit. So from our class, I brought some of our things that normally grow in the garden. Now, if it grows in a garden, it has a seed, it uses water and sunlight to help it to grow. So here are some things. We have a bell pepper, a green bell pepper. We have the red tomato and the yellow corn. And normally when the farmer or when you're picking things from your garden, they're so dirty with all kinds of dirt because it comes from the ground. So you can use a strainer to put some water in it to rinse it off. So you will put the food into the strainer and spray it with some water and swish it around. And then you can pat it dry and then it'll be good to eat. And some people even soak their fruits and vegetables in a big pot overnight, right? They soak them in there so they're nice and clean. All right, because sometimes we have to spray our fruits and vegetables so the caterpillars won't eat it. I started my own garden, and as you can see, a real live root. You see those roots? And you see the stem, and you see the plant leaves. Now, all things that grow are not edible. This is an ivory, and it's not edible. So we're going to sing a song about gardening. First, you take the seed and you put it. First, you take the seed and you put it. You put it in the ground. Then you take the dirt and you cover. Then you take the dirt and you cover. You cover the seed up. And then what happens? We have the sun that shines down and the rain that shines down to help that little seed to grow. So some things that we eat today come from the garden, even though it's not a fruit or a vegetable. We have corn chips or Doritos. They come from corn, and we grind it up and put it in the oven and fry it. And then we have corn chips, right? Or flour comes from grain. We have the flour tortilla that we use to make our tacos. So pretty much everything that comes from the grocery store started in the ground as a fruit or a vegetable, right? Or a grain. So I have some pictures that I want to show you of the different types of insects that love to come and be in the garden. Now, if it were not for the bumblebee getting all of that nectar, we wouldn't have honey. So here are some of the other friends that we have in our garden. We have the caterpillar, and we know that the caterpillar, they love to munch and eat and munch and eat until it turns into a chrysalis and becomes a butterfly. And what else do we have? We have the dragonfly. Now, as you can see, the dragonfly is nesting on the leaf. He is drinking the water from the sky. Sometimes when it rains, the water collects on the leaves and the insects come by to drink the water. And here's our favorite, the favorite in the garden. Now, bumblebees help the garden to grow big and strong because they take one pollen from the next flower to the next flower, and it makes everything beautiful and amazing. So we want to thank the honeybee. Thank you, honeybee. We love what you're doing. And what is that? The nice and friendly ladybug. She's also drinking the nectar or the droplets from the leaves. And we have the one that we don't like so much, the mosquito, right? We don't like the mosquito, but the mosquito is part of the insect family and it loves to be in the garden. All right, and then we're back to the butterfly. Okay, so now that we've talked about all of the different things that we can do in our garden or we can grow in our garden, we're going to do a recap and then a song. Here we go. First, you have a seed and you put it in the ground into the dirt. And the roots collect the groundwater and it slurps it, slurp it up like the roots. It slurps up and gives the flower lovely, beautiful petals, right? And then the bumblebee comes by and that is where he gets the nectar to create the honey. Now, in order for this to happen, what do we need? We need sun and water. We need the sun and the water together. And sometimes when it does not rain, we can water our own gardens, right? So here we go. We're going to sing our last song. This is the way you grow a garden. This is the way you grow a garden. First you need a seed and then the soil. First you need a seed and then the soil. Then the rain comes down and the sun comes out. Then the rain comes down and the sun comes up. And that's the way you grow. And that's the way you grow in the garden. Yay! So when you're outside and you see all of those wild flowers, you can pick them. But if you pick the root, like Miss Bryce, I have a wild flower here. And as you can see, we have the petals, right? And we have the center. And what loves the center of the flower? The bumblebee, right? And it gets the honey. But when you pick those wildflowers, if you pick the roots, right, if you dig down deep enough and you get those little whiny, hairy white things, then you can replant it when you go home, right? And these little ones smell really good and they keep our ground very beautiful and it keeps the world going because the bumblebees make everything in the garden really nice and special. All right, and that's all I have for you today. So remember, when you're out and you're in the grocery store, let's talk about where the things come from. If you see a fruit or a vegetable, we can talk about if they're coming from the garden in the ground, down low, or from a tree. So the lemon comes from the tree. So we would reach really high and pick the lemon out of the tree. Or sometimes it'll fall to the ground when it's ready for the gardener or the farmer to pick it when it's ripe enough. And things like potatoes come from the ground. So until next time, bye-bye. Make sure you're eating your fruits and vegetables.